Welcome to episode 125 of the Fully In It podcast. Welcome to Fully In It, a show for moms who are called to grow themselves while growing their families. Join me, Kate Saffel, a life and a business coach for moms, a homeschooling mama of 3, and a woman on a quest to show that our lives become even more meaningful when we remember why we are here and what truly matters most. This show is about going fully in it for you and the people you love by showing up powerfully in motherhood, entrepreneurship, in your home life, and for your family vision. Join me for weekly episodes that will inspire you to live intentionally and by your values, to slow down and truly be present to your family life, to make decisions that grow a profitable business without sacrificing anything in the process, and to become the kind of mom and woman you know you're meant to be in this lifetime. How are you doing? How have you been lately? We have been in the thick of getting into our homeschool routine. August has just ended and there was so much going on in my family life that I really just leaned back into it, and that has felt so supportive. It has felt so good. I hope that if your kids have gone back to school, that it has gone well. If your kids are still little and you're not there yet, maybe you're just feeling the shifting of the seasons and you're making some changes at home or changing up your daily routines or what have you. Either way, I hope that all of it is going amazing for you and that you are leaning into this next season that we're all entering into. And on today's episode, what I wanted to talk with you all about is a concept that has been a huge part of my life and my business for a very, very long time. And this is the idea of how the ways that we have fun and we play, we let loose are very often the keys to the most abundant and fulfilling version of our lives and the catalyst for creating more income in our business. And this is something that I have noticed come up over and over and over again for me. It's like, hello, here's my life lesson, Kate. And maybe this is you too. That we often have it backwards. We think, I'm going to work harder. We stress. We lose sleep. We let our little anxieties over things that you will probably forget a year or two from now keep you from having a peaceful heart, from enjoying your life, because somewhere along the way you picked up that you have to micromanage your way to a fulfilling life, to greater success in your business. And I am here to tell you today, you do not have to white knuckle it. And I promise you, because I have seen this in my business over and over again, right? Like I've taken one for the team when it comes to, am I allowed to relax and play and enjoy my life versus, no, I need to buckle down, get my to-do list done, work harder, work faster, right? That kind of energy. I'm here to tell you that the former is way more profitable and just way more enjoyable than the latter. So let's dig in. I want you to consider all the ways that this shows up in your life. For example, in motherhood, how often have you told yourself or told your child, I just don't have time to play with you? Or maybe you just tell yourself that you don't like playing with your kids. Have you ever stopped to think about why? Why don't you have time to play, or why don't you want to play with your kids? What I find is that most likely it is because it interferes with you getting stuff done. It is easier for you to stay in the mindset of, I got to check all these things off. I have to do all of the things. I cannot pause to play. And you think, I don't have enough time for both. I cannot play and also get stuff done. And so what happens is we put the focus on our to-do lists way more than actually enjoying our lives. You have your to-do list on a pedestal, and we make that the center of our life instead of actually being in it, being fully present to this life that we have with our families, with what we're creating on our life path. Even within your own business, you can steal the joy from it by pushing yourself, by hustling it, by getting caught in the little details instead of looking around and savoring and being like, oh my gosh, I am a human having this beautiful human experience, and this is amazing. This is amazing. I woke up this morning and I get to be with my people. I get this time with them. So I want you to think about a time in your life, maybe when you were a child, or maybe sometime in your adult years, maybe when you were in college or, on a family vacation, where you felt so free to follow what lit you up. You weren't thinking about the time. You weren't thinking about all of the things that you weren't getting done because you were so present and delighted by that moment. And I have memories of myself as a child, doing cartwheels across the beach. I totally thought I was in like The Sound of Music. I would like dance and sing in fields and right? To be a kid again. And I just had these vivid imaginings and this make-believe world. As a child, I didn't see those as a means to an end. Like, I must play because if I play, it'll create X, Y, and Z for me. I just enjoyed being in the moment. It just felt good. It felt satisfying. So what is the story behind why we push ourselves so much to perform and to treat our play and enjoyment of our life like it's a carrot dangled in front of us? Right? So instead of it being like when you were a child or a young adult and you just let yourself play because it just felt good and because quite honestly you deserve to play. But now as older women, I don't know, what are we? As women with families and responsibilities and all the things that you carry, right? Those things that keep you awake at night. You put play as the carrot in front of you. Like, yes, someday I will get to enjoy this. Someday when I'm on vacation, I'll finally relax. But you know what happens, right? We train ourselves so much to push and push and push that you get on vacation and you don't know how to relax. You don't know how to get down in the sand and play with the kids or scream your head off on the roller coaster because you're just thinking about the next thing that you have to do because that's just what your brain knows. And so part of this is us shifting out of that mentality and that way of being and that way of thinking. I want you to ask yourself, what would it say about you if you stopped doing all the time and started playing more? Can you even think of what play would look like? You're like, nope, I don't even know what that would be. But maybe that's your opportunity here is to think about like, what would sound so fun for you? What are those like weird things that you're like, oh, I would just love to like go roller skating again. I would just love to take a dance class. I would just love to lay in the grass and watch the clouds for as long as it feels good. What are those things? Do you get caught up in the rules of how play should be done? Right? We carry the stress of our adult lives and our businesses and our work into play, and we try to micromanage it. Have you ever played a game with like a preschooler, right? They like just want to make up their own rules. They don't care. You know what their end goal is? It's not necessarily to win, it's to have fun. But I think a lot of us, we're caught up in this concept of like, I have to win at life. But what are we winning? You're winning the opportunity to get to the end of your life, and maybe you got all the things done, but you didn't actually pause to enjoy it. So when we're focused on the shoulds of like, I should do this, I have to do this, it actually constricts your creativity. And it cuts you off from other solutions and pathways that are available to you. That's the gift of play, is it opens us up to more ideas and more possibilities. It kicks you out of the little like narrow channel that you're playing in, and it shows you that so much more is available to you. And I want you to know that there is a time and a place for rules and to-do lists and organization. And I love all of those things, right? But if you're in this community, most likely you would rather go to the dentist than throw away your to-do list and play in your life and business. Like the thought of being without rules and without a strict list every day of I have to get these things done would feel so uncomfortable to you, right? It would make you break out in cold sweats to release that level of control. But we always have to ask, like, what am I exchanging to have this level of control in my life? And is it worth it? And also, is that the reason why you're feeling stuck right now? Because you're gripping so hard to control that you're missing out on what could actually be available to you. So I want to introduce you to this idea that play is actually the key to you having a fully abundant and fulfilling life. Play is the key to greater success and abundance. So this never really made sense to me. I didn't fully grasp this concept until I started observing that the months in my business where I made the most money was when I allowed myself to play and have tons of fun in my personal life and business. I wasn't even really thinking about my business. I mean, I was, but the exchange was I was focused on play, which meant I had to trust that my business had my back. I had to trust that it was all working in my favor, and that I didn't have to choose. So instead of getting hung up on, oh my gosh, how can I be successful? How can I hit my goals, right? And being in this really black and white way of thinking, I imagined and I played and I expanded into these new concepts and possibilities. I would just play with well, what if? Well, what if this, oh my gosh, how cool would that be? And I fell in love with what could be, while also being present to what is. And that's a tough concept for a lot of us, right? Falling in love with what can be while being present to what currently is. And sometimes part of this, tapping into this way of being for you, is going to mean disconnecting from social media or things that negatively pull you into adulting mode. Right? Those things that elicit your fear response, your control response. What are those? Maybe you need to put some boundaries up around them. And also, notice your brain space and what you are thinking about and nurturing on the daily. What are those thoughts that you repeat to yourself over and over again that have you being stuck in super control mode? Because this is what will tell you why you think you can't play and have fun in your life and enjoy your life. I know also sometimes we get in this martyr mode of well, if I don't do it, nobody will do it, right? It's tinged with resentment and frustration. This way of thinking of if I don't do it, nobody else will. Don't let that become your badge of honor. Don't. It will just taint everything around you. It will keep you from not only enjoying your life, but it will distance you from the people that you love. And I'm going to propose that you don't have to be the martyr of your family. Like, what if sometimes you just take breaks and it's okay for you to not be constantly producing and doing? I've been talking to my kids about this because, they're like, Mom, why don't you play more? Or why don't you get X, Y, and Z done? And I'll be like, listen, sometimes Mom needs breaks. Sometimes I need to just go sit on the couch, kick up my feet, read a book, drink a cup of coffee, and relax. Or sometimes I want to just go cuddle with them in bed and watch a movie with them. And I'm not going to worry about all the stuff getting done. And I will tell them, hey, listen, I'm not going to do the dishes right now. I know the kitchen looks messy, right? But we're going to be okay with it because we're going to go for a walk and we're going to go play outside. And the dishes and the stuff, the mess, it can just wait. It's actually a really good thing for us to model for our kids, us putting down the to-do list and breaking the rules once in a while. We want them to see us as fully well-rounded human beings instead of like robot moms who just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and getting things done. And they never get to witness us as a human who has our own desires and our own delights and our things that are placed on our hearts to enjoy. Okay? So this is your opportunity to let go of the martyr mode and kick up your feet. Enjoy being with your family. Savor the moment that you're in. And what about in your business? Or maybe you don't have a business and you have a career. Okay? Substitute career for business. Whatever makes the most sense for you. Your relationship with your play, your creativity, and exponential growth is directly correlated with your success. I want to remind you that you are the CEO for a reason. You are the Chief Creative Officer. Think about that. Creative, right? How creative are you letting yourself be? This is why most of us, when you get to a certain level in your business, you hire team members to do the operations part as you grow, because it lets you stay in your zone of genius. But you'll never get to that point if you don't let yourself be creative and play and be the visionary. There's no one else outside of you that has the perfect formula for success. And if people are selling you that on the internet, run. Okay? They don't know what's going to be right for your business. You know. You are the one, but you have to allow yourself to tap into that. So when you let yourself relax, you go experience a new place maybe, like you drive somewhere new, you explore, you cut loose, you will gain insights and clarity like you cannot even imagine right now. So your goal here is to start building the habit of allowing creative white space in your week, where you just go enjoy yourself and you play. Take the kids along. Go on a field trip and have fun. I did a whole episode called The Field Trip Life. Go listen to that one. This has been such a beautiful part of my life. I have noticed I'll take the kids on a hike and the ideas for podcast episodes, content, new directions in my business drop in like crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have done this in the first place. It's when we just keep sitting at our desk over and over, trying to force ourselves to be creative. It just doesn't work that way. So start building this habit of giving yourself time every single week. And I also just love playing inside of my business, right? And this means you got to throw away the rules of how you think things should be done. I love playing with new concepts. I love creating graphics in my business. I love creating reels on Instagram. And, sometimes I'll get these really juicy, awesome ideas come through for, maybe a graphic or a reel, an Instagram reel that I want to create. And my brain will be like, oh no, you shouldn't do it that way. And that's always my invitation to actually push forward. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, watch me. Because for whatever reason, there is some story coming up that is telling me I can't do or be who I feel called to be. So we get to break the rules and lead. I want you to start asking yourself daily, well, what if I could have more in my life and my business? What would I do with it? Ooh, that's a really juicy question. How fun would that be if I allowed that into my life? What if it's okay for me to be fully satisfied in life right now? What if you didn't have to strive anymore? What if this moment right now is like the best one ever? What if I don't have to wait? Or what if I don't have to earn it? I want you to stretch into the feelings that answering those questions creates for you and let them expand you. Part of this is expanding your capacity to feel good, to feel joy, to feel pleasure, to feel satisfaction, to feel gratitude and groundedness. Start playing with doing things that give you those emotional states. It'll shift everything in your life and business. And if this is something that you want to grow into, I am teaching a 3-week mindset program called Inevitable that starts on September 11th and goes into October. And in this program, I'm going to be teaching the mindset hacks and the tools that not only got me to 6 figures and beyond in my business, but really to the most satisfying and abundant life. These are the tools that I use to free myself from many of the limiting beliefs so that I could grow beyond anyone's wildest expectations, including mine. I now enjoy a life of play and possibility. I am so present with my family. I am so present in my business and to myself. This program is for you if you also want to fully believe that the life you want and that your most expansive success is truly inevitable. And my goal is that by the end of this program, you are going to believe that too. You are going to look at what you desire for your life and you're like, yes, it is happening. So you can DM me on Instagram at Happier in Motherhood for more information to sign up. You can go to the show notes of this episode or just in the podcast app. You're going to see the link for it. And hopefully I will see you there. But this is an episode for you to save. Listen to it again whenever you are feeling stuck, whenever your brain is like, we have to just keep pushing forward. Take a deep breath. Listen to this episode again. Let it inspire you. Let it call you forward. And remember that there is so much available to you. But the most important thing is that you are worthy of enjoying your life right now. You don't have to wait for someday. And especially like if your kiddos are little, remember that everybody gets older. This time is going to pass. Enjoy it now. Okay, my loves, I will see you on the next episode.